Bulavanaka and welcome to Fiji Village Play. I'm Alipate Narawa and with me is Tifa Vataiki from F96 Breakfast and also the man on the ground when it comes to the Swai shipping Fijian Drua. Tifa?
Right. Hey man, Bula brother. Thanks for having me, I guess. I didn't know what we were going to be telling about, but yeah.
Okay, so this is the inaugural one. So this one, we'll be talking about sports, right? Mainly the Drua, who finally won and have reclaimed the fortress. Okay, they finally won a game this season. There was a bit of an early low turnout due to the weather, right, and also with an incoming cyclone that was at Category 1. And during the game, it got upgraded to Category 2, which is why there was a bit of there was at least about 20 people up on the embankment. But there was about a good crowd in the stands. About what time did the crowd start filling up?
I think in true Fijian fashion, we were fashionably late. Or in international game standards, we would probably be there right at the 11th hour. But I just love the fact that there was a cyclone warning. I wasn't expecting anybody. And with the Drua signing a legendary deal with Vodafone Play, they were just like, okay, set. Maybe people are going to pay money. But then just to see people that rock up at around, so the game would be at 3 and then slowly. But if you were at the venue, you would notice that as soon as the curtain raiser was stopped to protect the integrity of the ground,
yes,
everybody all went to the back and they were all just sitting down, chatting, buying what they needed to buy. And it was so good to see that. The turnout was not as what we used to expect at the fortress, but it's only understandable because
bad weather, cyclone incoming.
But that didn't stop nobody though.
Yes, that didn't stop anyone. But just leading up to last week's win, there was a lot of doubt of if there was still any mana at the fortress. And this is after they went down 40 points to 26 to Moana Pacifica in round 1 at the fortress. So after the game, I asked skipper Frank Lomani if he had any message for the naysayers. And he had this to say.
We don't really care about what people say, no. Those are just outside noise, They say stuff because they care about this team and what happens in this team, That doesn't change the way we turn up every day, We turn up, we train, we still represent Fiji. So to answer your question, we don't really care about what people say. We just play to our game plan and make sure that we execute it, and that's what it looks like, and we do exactly what we say we do. So, yeah.
As Frank said, we shut out the noise around us. It's there. We're trying to make this country proud. We're trying to show these young men how good they are, and unfortunately, sometimes we have to try and shut up the noise because it's round 2. And already there's a lot of doubters. So I think what the boys showed today is what it means to pull on the Drua jersey and did well.
So standout performance for round 3 in the Drua, who would you say?
Okay, in my opinion, Frank is up there. Frank Lomani led from the front, and like a good leader, he made the right decisions, put his team in a place where they could, capitalize. Armstrong Ravula was there commanding the boys, but I would say hats off to the forward players. Zurel Tongiatama had a hell of a game. His carries was absolutely amazing. And if you were picking him on Super Rugby Fantasy, you would got a couple of points. His line breaks, he really stood up for the boys. And I think that front 3, Misakindonge, Hatet, and also Zurel, they really came out to play. The weather wasn't in their favor, in anyone's favor.
I agree with you about Frank Fing. I've also got Isaiah.
Yeah.
And what about Ndrosese? Now, this guy has been getting a lot of flack over the past couple of seasons, right? Past couple of seasons.
Right.
And, I had that much faith in him. I picked him as in my Super Rugby Fantasy that he would be up there. Unfortunately, the stats in Super Rugby points, Fantasy points, did not quite mirror the stats that the things that he did on the ground. 2 of his kicks resulted in 2 tries. The Motikai Murray one, and also that intercept by Sabu Vondre.
That is one of the most key points I'd love to, that a lot of people bring up. Ndroses is not naturally a kicker, as we all come to see and we've all come to learn. But to see him kick, and Mans can run, all right? Drua says, where have you been hiding, brother?
And also with leading up to that game, Bowden Barrett, not Bowden Barrett, Jody Barrett, the skipper for the Hurricanes, said that he had been looking forward to playing against Drua, and he says this might be the last time that they play against each other. I don't know where Barrett is going after this, but when it comes to praise on the draw, it's usually the backs, it's usually the back row. But one guy that does not get does not get his flowers is draw prop, Penny Ravai. Now, the season prop, South African rugby pundit Dane from Kickoff Rugby says it best. And he reckons that Ravai should be playing in a centre position. Take a look at this.
Penny Ravai, you're not a front rower, mana. You're in the centres. The offload from Penny Ravai. Get out of here, the big fella. Draws one player, draws another player. Little offload, waka down the touchline, scores in the corner to win it for the Drua. Penny Ravai, you're not a front rower, mana. You're in the centres. Holy, what a little try assist there from the big man.
What did you think about that video, Tifa?
Boy, that was some classic touch stuff. Like, so when you're standing at the far end of the field, and the near end of the field, as soon as Ravai touches the ball, you can easily see the defender starting to mirror, trying to defend him.
Drifting.
But you can tell that the guy who's marking him couldn't tell how fast Ravai was running. Like, it was a kind of a shocker, but the stance was electric.
Is this because of his sevens rugby prowess?
Bro, it's Mastonga, his sevens rugby. He looked like just remembering that time when Penny Ravai made it on the sevens, that little behind the, that shoulder pass that he always went.
Yeah, over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder. And then, the guy for the job, Penny Ravai, and then Antonio Wanga. Boy, Wanga, when he took that ball, I think the whole of Lotaka probably lost their voices, man. It was just crazy.
Hey, stay with us. Coming up after this, we'll be talking about the new All Blacks 15s coach. The All Blacks have just announced a new coach, Dave Rennie, who is no surprise and no stranger, should I say, to New Zealand rugby, as he's the former coach of the Waikato Chiefs in 2012 and 2013, and he led them to back-to-back title wins in Super Rugby. Now, Tifa, take a look at those back-to-back title wins. Who were you cheering for in 2012, 2013?
I think 2012, 2013, young Tifa was a big Crusaders fan, and it was so heartbreaking. That was, I think, that the Sonny Bill era. He had just made the switch. He was doing a little bit of a run here and there. And for me, I think the one thing that stood out for Dave Rennie was the amount of talent that he had, and he had to hone them in together. So I think that's something that the All Blacks would definitely be capitalizing on. And we remember the Waikato Chiefs, but we tend to forget the Wallabies. And I know you don't want to talk about Wallaby rugby.
We're not going to talk about the Wallabies. Let's take a look at the Chiefs squad from 2012 and 2013. We've got Liam Massam, we've got Big Ben Tamifuna, Hika Elliott, also got Aaron Cruden, Tauri Kerbalo, Sonny Bill Williams, who just switched from the Crusaders, also Tim Nanai Williams, Charlie Ngatai, and current Island winger James Lowe. A lot of people don't remember
that James Lowe was in that.
Yes, he's from that era.
With a nicer haircut.
Yes, with a cleaner haircut. So Rennie is the guy that coached James Lowe, Sonny Bill, and Sam Cane. He also had Sam Cane. He had a lot of great players that he was able to mold into even better All Blacks players. But coming in, we'll take a look at what he has to say at his first reigns as the All Blacks coach. He'll take over after the Japan Rugby Season 1 finishes.
I'm really clear on the type of game that we want to play and the detail within that, the type of athlete we need and how we're going to make shifts. Probably not going to go into massive detail around what that is. All the changes we want to make, because I don't want to throw anyone in the previous regime under the bus, but I can assure you that I've watched a lot of footy already. I've got some firm ideas around the shifts we can make that'll make us better, and looking forward to ripping in. We obviously won't have access to players at the moment anyway, so there's going to be a big focus around planning and detail with the group once we've sorted that out.
That was Dave Rennie, the new coach for the All Blacks. Coming up after this, we've got a guy who is being compared to the great Mike Tyson in terms of boxing. Stick with us. Welcome back to Fiji Village Play. As I said, we've got your last one, a fighter that has been compared to a young Mike Tyson. But before we go to that one, something closer to home. Jay Opetaya and one of his biggest cheerleaders right here with me. Tifa.
One of his biggest. Oh man, look, much love, right? Much love, OP. Like this guy has come a long way since he fought on undercards for like NRL, NRL stars who want to box.
Yes.
And we don't want to mention their names.
Paul Gallen.
Yeah, everybody, he's come a long way and he's been very vocal, but his training has been intense. So he's got a big fight coming up. So big love for the brother.
He'll be fighting for the Ring Magazine Cruiserweight belt and the IBF Cruiserweight belt. He'll be fighting Jeff Gallants. That's coming up on Monday. But as I said, one fight to look out for is young Moses Itoma, this British national. His fight is coming up at the end of this month, and he has been compared to a young Mike Tyson. Now, he's shown an ability to end fights immediately, demonstrated by his 23-second knockout.
Oof, okay.
What do you think about that?
Okay. No. I see why they want to call him the young Tyson or like Mike Tyson.
All right, just take a look. Physicality and style. Now, Tyson was shorter. Okay. Itoma is taller. And he's got about a 2-meter reach.
So he's like 6'4", 6'3".
Yes, with a 200 centimeter reach.
Right.
How awesome is that? Both are described as having a deep, intense focus on boxing and a high ring IQ. So it'll definitely be something to look forward to, as he's being said to be, as boxing pundits are saying that Itoma should next challenge for the world boxing heavyweight title belts to try and get it off Usyk.
Oh, I mean, it's been a long time since anyone of that age would ever be a contender for the heavyweight championship.
Yes.
Like ever since Tyson and all the greats who used to battle at around 20s. Now the standard age is like in their 30s.
Yeah.
Usyk, you got Fury who still can, still rolling around.
So just to take a look at the current contenders are all in their late 30s. So you've got Usyk, who's around 36. Tyson Fury is almost hitting 40. And then you've got Anthony Joshua, who still wants to remain a contender. He's also in his 30s as well.
Yeah,
so Itoma coming out has just been a 20-year-old with a 2-meter reach. Now that is a fighter to look out for.
Imagine if I'll punch you in the corner.
As soon as he winds up, that's it. I'm gone.
Fellas winding up on that is already crushing you down. 2 meters. Jinx!
Also this weekend is the Vancouver Sevens. The Fiji men's sevens team, the Fiji men's national sevens team flew out on Sunday, and they will be good to go this weekend. They haven't won a game in Vancouver since... Well, they've only won one game in Vancouver, one tournament in Vancouver since its inception in 2016. Tifa?
I mean, thankfully, all the games are going to start on Sunday, okay? Yes. So, first game is going to be against France, 7-19. That's on Sunday morning. Then they next play Argentina. Whew. Vancouver, defending champions. That's at 11:07. And then the final pool game would be against Australia. That's around 2:56 p.m. So... this is going to be all money on them. So all the games finish on Sunday, and then the quarterfinals will start a little bit later on.
Cup, there's no quarterfinals.
Oh my gosh!
So the men's cup semifinals are at 8:33 a.m. Monday. So at work or on your way to work on Monday morning, you can always check it out, because that's when the cup semifinals will be played, and the cup final is at 1:34 p.m. The Fijian Sevens side, they've got a tough encounter coming up as they take on Australia in their first game. This is at 9:31 a.m. Sunday. Then they have the USA at 12:57 p.m. and their last game is against Canada at 4:46 p.m. Now, the Women's Cup semifinals, that kicks off at 9:17 a.m. Sunday, with the finals at 2:08 p.m. on Monday. Now, this is like one of the first times that the Women's Cup finals are taking place after the Men's Cup finals. It usually happens before. Your Super Rugby games this weekend?
Oh, Chiefs will be taking on Moana at 6:05, and then we move over, and then Waratahs versus Hurricanes at 8:35. So that's going to be on Friday. So,
And on Saturday at 3:35, the Highlanders take on the Force. And the big game that everyone's looking forward to this weekend is the Blues versus the Crusaders. Now, a lot of things has been said about the Blues choking last week against the Brumbies. We'll not name names, but I heard a lot of Blues fans were crying over that game. That game is at 6:05. And coming up at 8:35, we've got the Brumbies taking on the Reds. Those are your matchups for this weekend. Let's Fiji Village play. I'm Alipate Narawa.
and I'm Tifa Vataiki.
And go Fiji, go!